Hello you beautiful people, this is Chris from Recomboot and I'm here with Huawei's P30 flagship smartphone. Not quite as sexy as the P30 Pro, and makes a few little cutbacks here and there in order to reach a lower asking price here in the UK, but the good news is it's still got most of the great stuff in there. So let's give it a full unboxing, get it all set up and take you on a tour of the hardware and the software. And don't forget, for more on the latest greatest mobile tech, to plug subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So that is the phone itself. We'll just set that aside for one sec, hold your horses, because we're going to have a quick look in the rest of the box. So of course you get a pokey pin device in order to stick your SIM in the P30, and you do get a lovely bit of transparent cover action as well. We'll test that out in a sec, and then the rest of it's pretty straightforward stuff. You get your pin, in this case it's a 2-pin European plug, but of course you'll get a 3-pin if you buy it here in the UK. Got Type-C USB for charging, and you do have some hard shell headphones which can be used in a pinch, I guess. Speaking of pinch, they will probably pinch the heck out of your inner ears. There you go, that was easy. So let's just shove all this stuff aside and we'll check out the actual smartphone itself. So you grab the P30 in a few different hues. They all sport a lovely curved glass finish like so, and this is actually the Aurora model. So as you can see, a gorgeous blue version, and it does actually, if you didn't see our hands on, if you just tilt it towards the light, you'll see it produces this lovely Aurora style effect. It's absolutely stunning, lovely stuff. Definitely one of the better looking smartphones that I've had my greasy mitts on lately. Sadly, you don't get the full IP68 water resistance of the Pro model. It's only IP53 splash resistant, but at least you're taking out in the rain, something like that, you don't have to worry about it getting all screwed up. Let's peel off that temporary screen protector. And interestingly, unlike the Pro model, it looks like you do actually get a proper screen protector installed on the P30 as well. So that's an extra bit of protection there, definitely appreciated. The P30 does feel nice and compact. It is a 6.1-inch smartphone compared with the almost 6.5-inch Pro model, so it fits very nicely in the hands. Let's just see if we've got any juice there in the tank. And unlike the Pro version, interestingly, the P30 also has an actual dedicated 3.5mm headphone jack as well, so you can directly plug in a pair of wired headphones. Besides that, it's pretty straightforward. You've got your Type-C USB charging port, you've got your speaker down below, you've got your SIM card slot here on this edge here, and if we whoosh along to the other edge, you've got your power button. It's marked out with a nice little bit of red hue action there as well, just to set it apart, and of course your volume rocker up top as well. And of course, if you do decide to slap that transparent cover onto the Huawei P30, it only adds a little bit of extra bulk on it. It's not too bad, and at least it is a transparent cover as well, so you still get to see that gorgeous Aurora finish. It is slightly dulled perhaps by that extra layer, but as you can see there, the effect is still in play. The actual cover itself is getting quite scuffed up with greasy fingerprints already though, so it's not going to do anything for that. But at least it will protect all of your edges as well and keep your expensive investment hopefully pristine. So as with the Pro model, you do get an in-screen fingerprint sensor as well, just housed here near the bottom. It is sadly an optical sensor rather than an ultrasonic sensor, as you can see there, just beaming out some light as I tap my fingerprint against it. So not quite as accurate or responsive as the likes of the ultrasonic scanner found on the Galaxy S10 series. Just takes a 2D image of your fingerprint instead of a 3D image. Apparently it's more responsive than the old Mate 20 sensors though, which I found absolutely fine, except I had to re-register my prints generally every month or so, just to keep it accurate. And of course you get a full face unlock action as well, as an alternative to that fingerprint sensor. So let's just get a bit of that on the go. A nice backlit light source there, so that's probably going to be completely shafted. I'll have to redo that later. And then boom, we're into a Motion UI 9.1 slapped on top of Android Pie. Of course, it looks like an absolute disgrace when you first get it set up until you go into the home screen and enable your drawer. And then you can craftily get rid of all of the clutter and crap here on your home screen, get rid of all of this shenanigans. Good old booking.com, go away. Facebook, go away. We'll also have a bit of a play around with the settings as well. So for instance, we'll get the grid layout to something a bit more visually appealing. Get rid of this bloody Google search bar and all the rest. You can basically customize it to make it your own. So like the Pro model, the standard Huawei P30 comes packing an OLED panel. It's a 6.1-inch display, which is relatively compact by 2019 standards. And the fact that you've got these very narrow bezels surrounding the display as well means it's a nice comfortable clutch, definitely. Feels rather compact compared with a lot of other handsets. So as you can see, there are very narrow bezels along the left and right edges. The screen starts to sort of curve around the edge, not quite to the full extent of the likes of the Galaxy S10s, but still still nice. Down below, pretty much no bezel action, and up top, of course, just that dewdrop notch as well. So as you can see, that little nipply notch thing only very slightly intrudes on the action, not too bad whatsoever. And it is just a full HD plus resolution, unfortunately not full on quad HD plus, but to be honest, still looks perfectly crisp, enjoying a bit of full HD action right here, nice stuff. And because it's an OLED panel, of course, you get nice bright output, sharp contrast as well, and nice vibrant colors. And of course, that is fully customizable as always. If you just dive on into the phone settings, head on into display, and of course you can play around with the color, temperature, set it on vivid mode, which is actually by standard anyway. And if you don't like that notch, you can completely mask it from view as well. Huzzah! As mentioned before, it's Emotion UI 9.1 sat on top of Android Pie. This adds all kinds of bonus features on top of the standard Android stuff. So for instance, the security and privacy, you've got your face unlock and everything in there. Smart assistants, you've got one-handed mode, which is very handy. You can just swipe across here. I mean, obviously the 6.1 inch display isn't crazy big anyway, but that'll just help with reaching up for the notifications bar, stuff like that. And of course you can play around with the general system navigation and everything anyway, get a bit of gesture support on the go instead. So loads of great features buried away in there, plenty of stuff to customize the handset, make it just how you like it. As for the actual performance, it's a Kirin 980 chipset, backed here by 6 gigs of RAM rather than the 8 gigs you get on the Pro model, but as you can see, it's nice and nippy all the same. We would be surprised to see much in the way of stutters and stammers for everyday use, and the likes of your PUBG Mobile and everything should play perfectly fine as well, thanks to a nice bit of that GPU turbo support as well. So yeah, certainly if you want premium performance, this will do the job. Fingers crossed the battery won't disappoint either. You get a 3650 milliamp cell stuffed inside the Huawei P30, so not quite as big as the Pro model, of course, as you'd expect. It's a more compact handset, but hopefully it should easily keep you going all day, because Emotion UI and everything tends to be quite energy efficient anyway. As you can see, you've got your usual power saving modes and everything as well. You don't get the full-on 40 watt supercharge action, unfortunately, that you do on the Pro. It's a 22.5 watt charger, which still beats the crap out of most rivals, including the likes of the Pixel 3 XL and Samsung's Galaxy S10 series. No wireless charging support, unfortunately, and no reverse wireless charging therefore either. Oh, and on a storage front as well, you get 128 gigs as standard. I believe that's the only option available here in the UK. You can expand it via Huawei's own proprietary micro memory cards, however it doesn't support standard micro SD memory cards. And so on to the subject of that camera tech as well. As you can see, it is a tri-lens setup here on the standard P30. You don't get the time of flight lens that you do on the Pro model, but you still get that lovely triple lens setup, including a primary lens, an ultra wide angle lens, and a telephoto lens. 3 very different viewpoints. So first up, you get a 40 megapixel primary lens. That's a super spectrum lens, same as the standard Pro model, except it's an f1.8 aperture here, and there's no built-in optical image stabilization, unfortunately. But that is backed by a 16 megapixel ultra-wide angle lens and an 8 megapixel telephoto lens as well. Telephoto lens uses the same periscope system as the P30 Pro. Unfortunately, it tops off at 3 times optical zoom instead of 5 times optical zoom, so not quite as impressive there, but still again beats many rivals, including the likes of the Galaxy S10, which tops out at 2 times. So that right there is Huawei's P30 flagship phone. Full tour of the hardware, the software, the specs, everything you need to know, but definitely stay tuned for our in-depth camera review and full review of the Huawei P30 to see what we really think of it after about a week or so of full real-life use. And don't forget to poke subscribe and do that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. Cheers everyone, love you!